Okay, we are recording. Let's get into this. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it actually updated. I just don't notice this area updated on WHT. Anyway, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Hurricane Watch team is here with your latest tropical and severe weather update. First, I do want to talk about now the East Pacific is starting to wake up and get itself together. We do have two areas of development here in the East Pacific. I'm actually going to move over to tropical weather. Just wanted to see if they designated this, and they haven't, which is good. I also want to go to the National Hurricane Center, because the National Hurricane Center, they are actually acknowledging that this is an area of weather that they are still continuously watching. It's now at a 40% chance in the next 5 days. South of the Gulf, a broad area of low pressure is forecast to form, and around midweek, 100 miles south of the Gulf of Tehuantepec. Gradual development is possible thereafter. The tropical depression could form late this week or this weekend while the system moves slowly westward at 5 to 10 miles an hour. So we are watching that. It is again at a 40% chance of tropical development. I'm going to show y'all that here again. Here it is. It's this orange area, right? This orange region right here. It is not an area of it's not an area of investigation at the moment. But this is that system that we're watching. Not really expected to become anything super duper crazy or significant right now. But this one right here, ECM, the GFS, it's obviously the GFS, and it's way over the top. It's crazy. That one, they're like, oh my god, it's going to be like 940 millibars, 940, 950, 960. Mainly 950, 960. And I'm like, that's not going to happen. We all know that for sure. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off this. And I'm going to go to model, maybe, and show you what we're actually looking at here with the, just the GFS hybrid. Oh my god, relax. And I actually want to take a look at the absolute vorticity, just because I'm kind of curious here. And we're only going to go here in the next 5 days, which is 120 hours out. Just so we're like, oh, we have an idea. What are we going to be looking at in this region? What are we going to be seeing here? Just so we get a gradual and a general idea of what we're going to be seeing here in the East Pacific over the next several days. Now, as you can indeed see, it does show some kind of vorticity going on in this area. I'm going to go here and click on this. And there we go. So you can clearly see in this general area, you can see some kind of gradual cyclonic development happening here. Over in this area, we will see some more cyclonic development in this region, but it's going to take some more time. It's going to take a little bit longer because it's got to get itself going, I guess you can say it. This one already has an area of low pressure, a center of low pressure. This one's just an area where they think something is going to develop, but there isn't any kind of closed low, or not a closed low, but any kind of area of low pressure that is going to develop in the next several days. This one already has something, as you can kind of see. You can see it kind of develops and actually spins up something. The global forecasting system, the GFS, they're showing as low as 1,004 millibars. So it could possibly be a tropical depression, possibly even a tropical storm, with those winds exceeding, 30, we're talking 40, 38, 39, 40 miles an hour. I don't really expect it to even become a moderate tropical storm. I think a tropical depression to a weak tropical storm is most likely. And then as it moves north into the cooler waters, and it moves up north, you're going to notice it's just going to fizzle out and die out. You can kind of see this one over here. You can kind of see it quickly develops. So, which I don't see. That one quickly fades out. It's just taking a really long. It's still loading all the hours. We're only at hour 111 out of 120. So you can kind of see over the next 5 days, this one right here, it quickly develops, not quickly, but it develops and it quickly fades out. It just falls apart. But I do want y'all to notice that we do have this system over here. Now this again is the GFS. We're going to be going over more tropical, more models. And this one's much more robust. It's much more intense here. As y'all can clearly see, this significant amount of tropical cyclone, this more of intense energy here. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go to this wind in option. 10-meter wind. It is. I don't know why I thought it wasn't. And we're also just going to do 120 hours. That's just 5 days. Really, anything beyond 120 hours out, which is 5 days, anything beyond that really isn't very reliable and can't really be predicted very well upon. Because really, again, anything past that, things can really significantly change. I mean, if y'all remember with Laura, at one point they were showing, I think, a very powerful hurricane making landfall in Galveston, and that's there just south of Houston, which is the most major city in population-wise in the state of Texas. I believe there's over 7 million people who live in the Houston metropolitan area, and the last time a hurricane actually made landfall in Galveston, that was a hurricane, almost major, was Hurricane Ike in September of 2008. And the last major hurricane that made landfall in that area was Hurricane Alicia, 115 miles an hour. That was back in 1983. That was 39 years ago. And so it's been a very long time since anything really has developed like that. But you can certainly see something does try to develop here. You can actually see those winds quickly ramping up here. You can see that center circulation right there. And I also want y'all to notice what's going on in this area. You're going to see certainly a system developing in that area also. And that's something I'm kind of watching, something I'm closely monitoring, because the possibility of a significant system in this area is possible. The GFS has been hinting, but as we know, the GFS, it has been very insanely wrong. But the National Hurricane Center is now noticing, okay, something could come out of this. I'll be right back, y'all. I gotta go get some water. Another thing I want to talk about, we're going to be also talking a little bit about severe weather in the European area. They have had some severe thunderstorms capable of producing tornadoes, I think, in Germany and France area, I believe. It's been about a week ago that happened, I think. So y'all can see, this system down here develops and moves north. And I think it's either cold air or wind shear blowing in this direction. Because you can see it just fades off as it's blown over to the west. So that is a system also right here. Look at it, look at what the GFS is predicting here. If we look here, we zoom into this area right here, and we actually probe and look at the wind speeds. Here's about tropical depression winds, tropical storm forces really in the whites. Right in this ring, right through here, tropical storm force. Hurricane, 50 knot winds are right in this orange area. And then you do have hurricane force closer to where the eye wall is. And you can kind of see what they're predicting, some closing into 80-mile-an-hour winds. So that is a Category 1. Definitely a Category 1. And as you go closer to the center, that's where it is more of, you know, the kind of the calm spot is. The eye, as some would say. I'm kind of curious. Can you see air pressure? Why do I always go over there? Man, I wish you could see air pressure. I'm gonna look. I don't think the NAM 3 cam can actually see this because it only covers this southern. It still shows that this is still an area of investigation. That's crazy. It was actually, you could actually see down here where it was showing it. You kind of saw it did make a landfall in Alabama. Wait, did it? I'm curious. Now I don't know where. Way too close. Because I think, I don't know, it might have made landfall in extreme western Florida. I don't know, I'm not too sure where. Because I know this is just where it ends? Or does this line go right there? I don't actually know where this was, but it was Alabama-Florida state line where that Invest made landfall, and no, you can't see that. Okay, so, oh god, you can do custom. Interesting, very interesting. That's the HRR, GFS high resolution, and again the GFS was just, I don't know why I said this was a tropical, or a DT must be a tropical disturbance. It ain't no tropical depression. Usually a TD represents tropical depression, not tropical disturbance. It was a tropical disturbance rather than anything else. But it still says it's an active system, 90L, 35 miles an hour, air pressure 1012. I did see somewhere people were like, oh, 1006 millibars is what they were showing in some areas. So these are the two areas that we were watching. If we go here, Invest 90L is the only system that is currently active, technically. The others just are there. So again, I'm going to go to Tropical Tidbits and kind of just show you what we're looking at here when it comes to the systems. You can see it's still a closed area of circulation there. It's just going to move off to the east. More severe weather is possible in the next coming several days. So that little system there in the Bay of Campeche I see there. Western Atlantic. There it is, a little area of low pressure development right there. Good lord, look how it actually, oh wow, look at that. It actually becomes pretty intense. I mean, it's the global forecast. This is the GFS. It's gonna show things to be intense, but again, this is really just way too far out. Again, this is 250 hours out, and so really anything past 120, you got to be careful. 120 hours out, you got to be careful. Anything past that, 120 hours out, it's still showing a system. I'm actually curious what they're saying here within the next. So here's, let me zoom in. Oh, way too much. Okay, whatever. So here's 24 hours out. Nothing. You can kind of see maybe something trying to get itself going there, but really nothing. 48 hours out. A little bit better. You do have possibly it looks to be, as you can see right here. If I can point it right there. You can see in this area, it's like all the way across the screen. Some closed isobars going on there. And that's just in the next 2 days. If we look in the next 3 days, oh yeah, that's a tropical storm going on right there. That's a tropical storm. 4 days, we got ourselves a strong hurricane. And that's just in 4 days, 96 hours. And then in the next 5 days, that's what we got. A 978 millibar hurricane. So, I'm actually curious to see what the ocean temperatures are. Just a little curious. Only 2 cold spots. In the eastern Gulf, and then the north of the Yucatan Peninsula there. We had high pressure over here. And we had winds blowing off like this. blowing around and coming around and blowing off the coast of the Yucatan Peninsula, which was blowing the cold, warm water away from the coast and upwelling colder water from down below. Kind of like a La Nina, I guess you could kind of say, a La Nina in the Gulf of Mexico. And that's the exact same thing that's going on with La Nina in quite a literal sense. With La Nina, you've literally got wind blowing this direction, this way, away from Ecuador. I want to say this is Ecuador right here, because they're along the equilateral region of the Earth. Is this Peru? This could be Peru. No, one of these is Colombia, one of these Venezuela, Colombia. This could be Peru right here. This is Paraguay, this is Chile, this is Argentina. This is Uruguay. I don't know what that is. It's a little tiny country right there. Anyway, it's moving off, blowing away from the western coast of South America, and it's up, and it's pushing that warm water away and upwelling colder sea surface temperature anomalies, which is actually very interesting to see. Where's my mouse at? And this is where we are with La Nina, 3.4 index, about 7/10 of a degree below average. If we look at the 1 and 2, it was actually really warm, and then it just dropped off, and it's at 1.5 degrees below average. You know 4, half a degree, and then you know 3, 7/10 of a degree. So again, sea surface temperatures in the East Pacific also very, very hot there. Mexico, Nicaragua, Honduras, Costa Rica, Panama, Belize, El Salvador. This must be Guatemala. But as you can see off the coast of Guatemala and Mexico, it is very, very, very warm down here. Given what I'm thinking here, if that storm does develop, it's going to possibly intensify very rapidly. I don't know why my resolution is wrong, but whatever, I don't care. Really, that's not a whole lot really to talk about here. You can see the remnants of that disturbance up in this area. I don't know why you can't see the whole thing. That kind of bothers me, I'm going to be honest. Saharan air layer, good to know. Low, that's upper level low, very, very fascinating. That's that tropical disturbance that made landfall in the Florida-Alabama state line the other day. Yeah, I mean, last night. And then here you can see where, it's dust making its way into the dust making its way into the Gulf of Mexico. Again, sea surface temperature anomalies. As you can see, very, very warm, 26, 30. I doubt temperatures are going to reach 34 degrees centigrade. I doubt temperatures are going to reach 93 degrees Fahrenheit in any part of the world, to be honest. These, again, are sea surface temperatures. So you can see down here, 29, 27. So sea surface temperature anomaly, or sea surface temperatures, I should say, pretty darn warm still. 28, 29. Right down here, very, very warm sea surface temperatures. Only areas really that are cold, right through here and right up here, and even along the western coast of Texas is a little not super duper hot. One last look here. So why do you always zoom in for? But yeah, that's where it was. It kind of made landfall there, west of Pensacola, Florida. Nothing super crazy going on here. I'm gonna look up bring up the internet. And I'm basically just gonna simply look up one and only one thing. Let's see if this helps me in any way, shape, or form to help me with. Throw that away when I get done. Oh Lord. I'm actually just gonna go to Google. Wait, European weather. European weather. Alerts. This is weird. This is difficult because I really don't know what to look for. I really don't know how to do what I need to do. Because I'm not big into Europe. In terms of weather, I'm more North American, United States. I'm like, oh, what's the weather here in the United States? I'm not like, what's the weather in Germany? I'm just going to get out of this and just sort of talk about what I know I can talk about. And keep going on. I do want to go to the Storm Prediction Center. There's a slight risk of severe weather in the western portion of Texas today. Don't particularly know exactly what to talk about anymore, just because it's not a huge thing to talk about. Mainly I'm worried about severe weather, tropical weather here in the eastern Pacific, and knowing what these two systems will bring. As you can see, again, these are where the two systems are at. Not really wanting to talk about a whole lot today. I like to make these things quick. We're going to continuously be watching these two systems here in the East Pacific, and be doing more posts via YouTube and via our Instagram page. Haven't really posted much of anything on my Instagram page, but gotta kind of keep things short and end things up there. We'll be closely monitoring everything else here in the East Pacific and the North Atlantic. If you have any other comments, questions, concerns, email me or join our Discord. With all that being said, have a wonderful rest of your afternoon and evening, and